Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Good evening, my name is Theresa. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Theresa.
Grateful to be here, grateful to be sober because of a loving God. Oh, goodness. I always get all mushy. I love the countdown. And then I always wonder about the newcomers. The ones that have like one day, like maybe a friend of yours said, want to come with me somewhere? Now everybody's clapping for you, giving you a book. We've ruined your drinking forever. Oh, Lord. I like to watch that. I want to thank the committee for asking me to come out. I've had a wonderful time. Everyone's treated me so well. Hey, Bridget. She's been working hard and showing up and helping me and getting here. And this is my first time in St. Thomas. This has been exciting. It's so beautiful, except for the iguanas, a little trippy. They didn't really talk a whole lot about that in the guide thing. They just said, you have them. I've been feeling like I'm in Jurassic Park, but it's all right. Then we try to go somewhere, and they're like, that's all right, never mind. Who wants to go to the beach? Oh, forget about it. So they've been like running things for me here. So I've been following wherever the iguanas are, I go the opposite way. They scare me a little bit. Oh, goodness. Oh, I'm always so nervous. And I love how people always like, why are you nervous? Don't be nervous, bunch of drunks. I'm like, half of you can't even get up here and read. You come up here to read, you're like sweating, and I gotta share for like an hour. So just give me a minute. It's a little overwhelming when everybody's looking at you. People are like, God will do it. And I'm like, yeah, and God just needs to show up. I'm like, anytime now. They're looking at us. Whew. A lot of pressure. It's such an honor and a privilege. My heart is so full. It's been great this whole weekend to be at home and been chit-chatting with so many of you along the way and by the pool and at the restaurant. And I still like sitting back and watching people and seeing how we interact with one another. I tend to be an observer. And I like to sit back and watch. So you've been watched, but I do. I watch you when you're eating and how you're talking with one another because I learn from you. And so I've been watching folks, and I want to thank you for teaching me so much. Oh, goodness, I want to welcome the newcomers. How y'all doing? You my guest, huh? I was hanging out with what's your name again? Karin. Look at that. I'm terrible with names. Karin. Okay. I was hanging out with her by the pool, and I was like, I want you to come on Saturday and be my guest. Like I'm running something. I want her to feel special. Tell them you're my guest. You felt good, huh? You're like, hey. The funny thing was she didn't even know who I was. Just some girl by the pool. I'm some girl by the pool's guest. I love doing that to newcomers. When they show up and I'm here, I'm like, how you doing? Welcome. We've been praying for you. I love to share with all the newcomers that there is a moment of silence and prayer that takes place in every meeting all over the world. And that is for you. But for the grace of God, you have been lifted up and brought into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. That was not your idea. And you don't get credit for that one. You've been given a gift unearned. I hope you learn to polish it, water it, and take care of it. I see it like a glass menagerie. So easily forgotten and broken. We ask you to keep coming back. Let us love you so you can learn to love yourself. You don't know that, so you got to keep coming back. I heard don't leave 5 minutes before the miracle happens. You don't know when that is, so you got to keep coming back. And strap on and hold on, because you about to go for a ride. They told me, don't you ever forget your last drunk. I asked you to do the same. They told me, listen to the similarities and not the differences. I'm not quite sure what they meant, but I just began to listen like the dying only could to see if I can get it. I want to thank you so much, Mike, for last night. That was awesome. I'm looking forward to Dan tomorrow. Gonna blow us up on Sunday morning. I want to thank the old timers. Y'all want to be called long timers. Do y'all do that on the island here? You changed it to long timers? Everybody's been doing that. We're doing that in California. They're saying long timers now. They're getting all offended with old, the word old. Everybody's getting so sensitive these days. I'm like, we're not old, we're long. Okay, it was the same thing. You are getting old. But it's inevitable. We're all getting old, you know? But to the old timers in the house, thank you so much for my life and my sobriety. I still want what you have, and I don't ever want to lose that. I watch you breathe together, cry together. I watch you sweep the floor and put up the chairs and extend your hand. I watch the old timers, they're so still. They're usually the most quiet person in the room. And whenever you ask them a question, they're like the guy from Kung Fu. That's like, take the coin from my hand, grasshopper. So I want to grow up to be like that. There's a spiritual maturity that they have that I still gravitate to. I wish the woman has 40 years that I could rub your arm and get it like osmosis. If it was only that simple. But I'll continue to watch you and do what you have done so that one day at a time, I too can have 40 years. And today, I believe that that is possible for me. And thank you for setting the example and all those who came before you. I'm a real alcoholic, and I'm just so grateful to be in some island, sober. Especially when you got the voodoo rum drink going around here. And all the different types of rum. Been checking that out. It's a wonderful thing to be around these bars and look at all this alcohol and it not even cross your mind. That's something I like to entertain and like to do. And I don't have a problem with whoever is sitting there trying to, what was Kim earlier today was this guy couldn't decide which one he wanted. She was like, get the voodoo one. That would have worked for me at some time. We like making suggestions to other drunks, right? Get that one, get that one. That one looks good. Just knock yourself out. Have one for me, man. Live vicariously through the drunks on the island. But anyway. I still do that. I remember one time this girl we were supposed to go to a meeting. She was a newcomer, and she called me and said, I'm sorry, I've been drinking. I feel so bad. I can't go to the meeting. And I said, really, you could go, but it's just that you're driving, so it's not a good idea. However, it's okay. And she was like, oh, but I feel so bad. I've been drinking. I'm like, girl, that's what we do. So keep on drinking, have one for me, and call me tomorrow. Go for it, y'all. Y'all look at me like I'm crazy. I'm serious. Drunks need to drink until they can't drink no more. So I hope, again, if you're new, that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, that when you think of your last drunk, you just want to throw up. You can't take it. That's what it took for me. We share in a general way what it used to be like, what happened, and what it's like now, and there's a reason for that. It is the depth and weight in which I only found in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, which no social worker could have gave me, no teacher, no judge, nobody. It is the language of the heart, the music of the rooms, that I get to listen what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. And then as I listen to the similarities, and if you're new, I'll give you an example. I have yet to go to jail, and I use the word yet, which means you're eligible to. I'm not exempt from that experience. But I've yet to go to jail. But I listen to someone who has, and I identify with the feelings. I know what it is to be in bondage and to be locked up and closed up and I can't get out. And I may not have iron bars, but I got many other bars that I've been enclosed in before, and I identify with that. And then you ask yourself a couple of questions. Like, that happened to me. I felt that way too. And more important, perhaps this program can work for me. I get to stay sober another day, and I'm just so grateful you do a 12-step call on me. Something happens when I remember what it was like and what happened and what it's like today. I leave out of here gliding. I tell people you cannot tell me there isn't a God and that this program does not work. I am still in awe of this program. To this day, I look in the mirror and I go, my goodness, you sure look familiar. But there is something about you and I can't quite put my finger on it. But I know that whatever it is, it doesn't have very much to do with you. Man, I see it every time I look in the mirror. I come a long way. I always say I like those stories about people who didn't fit in and then later on they went and to some party and they had a drink and they felt good and then they threw up. And they got really sick and everything, and then they, did it again and again until they crossed some invisible line, and then they ended up in Alcoholics Anonymous. I like that story. Wish I could use it. It's not the case for me. I love to see the family in recovery, for that has been my experience, and we still have so much more of our family members to come and join us. I come from a family of alcoholism. I'm born addicted. My mother drank and used when I was in her belly. Bottom line, as the story goes, my father wanted another child. My mother didn't. He raped her. He says he didn't. She says he did. That's their story. Nonetheless, I was conceived. My mother did everything possible to abort me. And she drank and she drank and she used and she drank and she used, and I was still meant to be here. I came out of preemie. They left me in the hospital. My grandmother and my dad came to get me, and as they continued to tell me that the only way to keep me quiet was to put alcohol on my gums or in my bottle. And I drank every single day for 25 years of my life. That was my life. I drank to breathe. I don't know anything about an invisible line. Drinking for social reasons. I heard that people drink socially for a while, for a minute. No, I drank every day, all day long, like it was water. And I dare you to tell me there was something wrong with that. That's what I did, and that's what everybody else in my family did. Puerto Rican girl, New York City, we are proud that we own the Bacardi factory. Trust me. Well, you'd be like, we go there like Disneyland, okay? Anybody comes to town, where are we going? To the Bacardi factory. You get free drinks there. You get little shots, everything. They used to give you shots, now they used to give you bottles when you leave, and even when I was there recently, I went to visit, and my cousins, I fell asleep in the car, and they go, Terry, wake up. They call me Terry. Terry, wake up. I'm like, where are we? In the Bacardi factory? I was like, yo, man. Everyone in my family are alcoholics. Nobody knows how to drive sober. We never learned that. I tell you to this day again, when I go to Puerto Rico, if I'm going somewhere, I buy my cousins a six-pack and go, let's go. Because I know we'll have an accident if I ask them not to drink and drive. It's not going to happen. They're not used to seeing that. My cousin goes, I see 3, and I focus on the one in the middle, and we all good. You know what I'm saying? There were only 4 members in my family that did not drink, and you can tell how we noticed. If I can tell you that there was only 4. Okay, it was my grandmother, my father, my cousin Petra, and my brother, and nobody liked them. I felt bad for them. Everybody hated them. They needed a drink, they needed a joint, they needed something. Everyone in my family has died as a result of this disease. Whether it's kidney failure, cirrhosis of the liver, falling down, cracking your skull, getting shot, ODing, dropping your cigarette, burning up. Everyone got diabetes, everyone's on dialysis. Everyone has cirrhosis of the liver, kidney failure. That's the norm and the way we die in our family. And when you die, you get your drink of choice in the coffin with you. You tend to smile better than before that. Everyone pretty much gets their legs amputated. If you have diabetes and you keep drinking, after a while you get gangrene and you have to cut off your legs. And you figure after you cut off somebody's legs, they need a drink more than ever. There's no way I'm gonna tell my uncle who ain't got no legs, stop drinking. I'm not gonna do it. Everything that took place in New York City in the projects took place when I went to Puerto Rico. You catching up, Mike? I say, I'm from New York, I talk fast. You all right? You okay? Because I know you said yesterday you get lost. You okay? I wish I could slow down, but once I get on the roll, I can't stop. She'll translate later. It's the same message. It's the same message. felt you like, what's she saying? It's okay. I kept saying, God, let's slow down for Mike, but it's okay. Oh, goodness. Oh. I think about the life that I lived. I was consumed with alcohol and or drugs within my entire family. You know, the funny thing was that I never questioned that life. I never looked at the Brady Bunch and said, I want to be like Marsha. Ever. Ever. Marsha would get pimples and she would trip. She was like, that was weird to me. I got a pimple, bad day. I'm like, oh, she need a drink. She needs something. That will resolve that very quickly, Marsha. And the father was strange, and the mom, everybody was weird. That was weird. I watched the Brady Bunch for entertainment purposes only. And Donnie and Marie and all those people, I liked them. They were entertainers. But I never looked at that and said something's wrong with my life and compared it. Any of the other family members that we associated with, they drank like we drank. And for most Puerto Ricans, we hang out with each other. Very rarely do we need to hang out with other people unless they're also Puerto Rican. And if they are, they're family anyway. So you don't know really who's your cousin and who's not. Everybody's family. To this day, that's just the way we are. We carry our Puerto Rican flag everywhere. Very proud people. We have it in our car. My cousin still says that we have yet to learn that our national flag is not a car ornament. But we have it there so we can identify each other. We be like, Boricua! You know, come eat. Anyway. At the same time, we're partying. I grew up in the era of Eddie Palmieri and Celia Cruz and Willie Colon, and we're dancing salsa, and everything is good. We always had fun and parties in the house. Everybody getting down, and yes, at the end of the night, somebody was getting choked. And now we couldn't wait for that part. I mean, drinking, my uncle choking my mother. She's screaming, Mommy! We like, kill her. I'm drinking. I was drunk in every single one of my birthdays. I got pictures. I was drinking in my first year birthday, my second, my third, my fourth. I got glassy eyes, toasted. I'm toasted in my walker. Life is good. All was well. I went to Catholic school. I put a uniform on and a smile on my face. And I drank before, during, and after school. The nuns needed a drink. Oh, they were so miserable. It was so unhappy people. When I looked at the world outside of me, I saw you as miserable. People who didn't drink looked miserable to me. Even though there was violence, there was a lot going on in my home. Thank God for alcohol. I don't know how I would have survived. I was verbally abused. I was every name you can think of. I was physically abused. People kicked me, punched me. Sexually abused. My body never belonged to me. I was sexually abused by men and women. People took turns with my body. And I lost my virginity when I was like 5 or 6. What's the problem? I took a drink and I said it don't matter. Who's next? I was balancing checkbooks when I was 6 years old. I left home at 14. I had my own business. I went with a man who was 26, 11 years my senior, beat me on a daily basis. You couldn't have told me that I wasn't loved. That's my man. Yeah, he beat me. And he kept me supplied with Southern Comfort. And we drink and be merry. And he beat on me. And alcohol said, it don't matter. And I remember him pounding on me, and I'd be going, are you done yet? Because I want to finish watching that television program. You're not finished? Aren't you tired? That's what alcohol did for me. It allowed me to get up in the morning and to go to work and to go to school. I didn't know another way. Had no point of reference. Consequences. We talk about incomprehensible demoralization. That was my life. I didn't blame that on alcohol. Alcohol was my solution. Are you kidding me? How do I get up in the morning like that, all bruised and my insides are bruised? How do you get up in the morning like that? You take a drink and I don't feel nothing. I was shut down, disconnected, detached, numb. I had no heartbeat, flatline. I never felt any emotions. Emotions about what? I didn't cry. Cry for who? The arrogance that I lived in. Just a tough little cookie. You know, the tiny ones are the scary ones. We are scary. Gotta watch out for us. You don't see us coming. Watch out. Watch your wallet. Watch whatever. very sassy with the head going. I don't know if you got a lot of Puerto Ricans out here. Y'all tend to think the only Puerto Rican is Rosie Perez, but there's a bunch of us. Everybody always refer to Rosie, like you Puerto Rican was Rosie. But anyway, the head going, I used to be like, I don't care, and da-da-da-da, you don't talk to me, and blah, 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 very fast and loud. I held people hostage in all my relationships. I took what I wanted to take when I wanted to take it. I had no self-respect, and I definitely didn't have any respect for you. For what? I didn't have any love. And I definitely did not love you. Didn't even know what that was. Alcohol was my lover, it was my companion, it was my buddy and my friend. And I needed nobody. Nobody. I spent my life, 24 years of my life was like that, very comfortable. As long as I dressed up my outsides and I look cute, because you see the criteria in our family is the only person who has a problem is a person who don't have no teeth and who don't have a job. Okay? As long as you got your teeth and you have a job, you all right. And I went out of the way to make sure I got my teeth. I'd be like, don't hit me in the face, don't hit me in the face. I gotta keep my teeth. And I made sure I had a job. My playgrounds were bars and clubs and shooting galleries. I didn't play with no Barbie doll, hopscotch, no jump rope. I remember my uncles were always nodding. I love my heroin uncles. Are you kidding me? They would nod in the middle of their conversation. I knew they'd be back. I'd be like, don't worry, that's still Peter. He'll be back. He'll finish his conversation later. This is the world that I lived in. That was so normal. Big Book talks about our life is a normal one. Oh, it was such a normal one for me. I saw it in my mother, I saw it in my uncles, I saw it in my cousins. Alcohol was my higher power. Alcohol told me when to get up in the morning and when to go to bed at night. If I was going to work, if I wasn't. Where I was going to live, where I wasn't. If I was in a relationship, if I was not. And who I was in a relationship with. It dictated every single area of my life. I couldn't have told you that, but it did. I never shared my booze. Ever. I cannot afford to run out. If you came to visit me, you need to bring your own. I don't play with mine. I make it very clear, this is mine. You better get yours. You need yours. I don't share. I don't be buying rounds for everybody in no bar. No, that's mine. I buy for me because I cannot run out. I tell people, I'll give you an example. I smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. And a pack of cigarettes are 20 cigarettes. If I give you one, that leaves me 19. I have a dilemma. Okay? Major dilemma. All right? I'm one short of my 20 for the day. That's how my mind thinks as an alcoholic. I count. This bottle is for me. If I give you a little bit, I'm missing that little bit. I need that. That's how I measured everything. And then something happened. Something happened to me. I walked in a bar one day. I used to love walking into a bar. I felt like Miss America. You know that song Cheers, where everybody knows your name, they're always glad you came? I like going to the bars. Be like waving hand, the nod, hey, how you doing? Y'all don't miss the nod? I be telling them, some people don't know that nod. You know that nod, hey, what's up? I miss that. But one day I walk in, I'm waving like, hey. And I hear them say, look what the trash brought in. How long had they been saying that? I can't tell you how long they have been saying it, but I remember when I heard it, things are different. I woke up in the morning and the sun came through the window and it burned my skin. You know, I didn't even know what that was. I remember telling somebody, turn that off. Turn that off. Whatever that is, turn it off. They said, girl, that's the sun. Okay? I just wanted, it burned my skin. It burned. It was very bright. I just remember it being bright. I had never seen the sun before. Where'd that come from? Things are changing. I woke up with another stranger. I always slept with strangers. Are you kidding me? Who wants to be in a relationship? You want to communicate. I always slept with strangers. You, I sleep with you tonight. Don't call me tomorrow. Here I am waking up with a stranger and all of a sudden I feel dirty. Where'd that come from? I'm waking up looking at you going, ooh, who is this? What happened? What's going on here? What happened? All of a sudden it started to matter. I always slept with cousin it. They're the best ones, ladies. Break it, that's the truth. You lucky to be with me. Easier for me to rip you off. Now I'm waking up with you and I'm noticing. I'm sitting at the bar and I'm drinking and I'm looking at you and you still ugly? Yo, we got a problem. I don't know how to do that one. And I'm going, what's going on here? You should have transformed by now. What's happening, man? That's crazy. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to live like that. They say alcohol stopped working. What happened to me? I lost my hustle. I remember I would walk through alleys 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, I'm not comfortable doing that. I go to my grandmother's house and I see a look on her face, this look of pity. Do you know that I never noticed that before? But now I notice it and I don't know what to do about that. Can't drink enough to make that look come out of your face. I don't know how to do that one. I go to my dad's house and he looks disgusted. How long had Daddy been looking disgusted? Why isn't he talking to me? I don't understand. I don't know what happened. What happened? All of a sudden, I go to take a shower and the water hurts my skin. It burns. I can't even take a bath. I can't even get in the shower. It hurts. So I stay funky. And I don't bathe. And I just stay away from my grandmother and I stay away from my father because, you see, I can't see that look on your face. I can't look at that look. I don't know what to do about that one, and I can't drink enough. And all of a sudden, things are getting really bad, and I'm looking at other people's faces, and people tend to be moving and looking vibrant in the morning, and I'm the walking dead, and I'm trying to be alive, and I can't put on enough makeup. I can't dress up enough, and I don't know what's happening. And I'm trying everything possible to get back to the good old days. You know what I tell you? You know what the good old days were for me? Was that I would go to some bar and club, see somebody I want to sleep with. I would go, I'm going to sleep with you. And they say, yeah, let's go. And they bring 4 or 5 of their friends. The more, the merrier. I don't question that. We get to some hotel, we drinking, having a good time, and all of a sudden I get gang raped, pistol whipped, and sodomized. Afterwards, I crawl to the bathroom, I get up, I do my makeup, I fix my hair, fix my clothes, and I go back to the bar and I do it all over again. That's the good old days. Well, it didn't matter. Now it matters. Now I'm going in and out of the hospital and they're so sick of seeing me. I've been in juvie before. I'm going in the hospital always malnourished, dehydrated, like her again, put her in the corner. And I'm hearing that. I'm so sick of therapy and psychology. If I see another ink blot, I'm gonna jack somebody up. They're all butterflies. Okay, they're all butterflies. Why do you keep showing me butterflies? I've never seen anything other than them being butterflies. 2-way mirrors. You can't help me. You people can't help me. Can't do anything for me. This is my life, and this is what I've resigned to live in. And now I'm starting to pray every day to whatever. Please don't let me wake up with another breath. I don't want to be here. I can't live here. I'm pregnant on my 4th child. I've lost 3 prior. I was always losing children. My womb was so polluted and so toxic. I tell people I'm amazed of women who have children in their disease. It never was the case for me. Half the time I wouldn't even know I was pregnant. I would find out after I fell out on the toilet or on the floor. And I would go, oh my, what do you know? I was pregnant. And I would clean it up and keep on walking. But now I'm feeling this baby thing, and that's not stopping either. Because hormones, something happens to your body when you're pregnant. Can't make that stop. And now, what is the highlight of my day? I'm homeless. I mean, all kinds of things were going on. I stopped going to work and coming up with bright ideas. You say your best thinking got you here? I got tons of them. Trying to manage and control and get back to the days that I remember, and I couldn't get it. I had lost them. Nobody wanted to be my friend. I burned bridges all the time. Why all of a sudden did it matter? Where's everybody going? Why do you want to be with me? I was always burning bridges. Why did I care all of a sudden? I cared where you went. Now I was alone. Where's everybody going? And the highlight of my day was going to a neighborhood bar. I would hustle up a quarter, put a coin in the jukebox, and this man that would sit at the bar would get up and we would jitterbug. And after we finished jitterbugging, he would sit down and the bartender would give me a drink. And I would shake and I would drink it. And I would go back and hustle up another quarter. Didn't think to hustle up $1. That was the highlight of my day. How did it come to that? That was not my intention. That was not my plan. My plan was to have fun and be merry. Like the kind that I see in New York City and downtown Manhattan. All of our bars have these full windows where you see people look like they're having a good old time. But later on, when it's no longer good, you're hanging out in the bars with no windows. And I would stay there until they would open it back up again. They didn't throw me out when they closed. They only closed to clean up. How'd that happen? And these are the circumstances of my bottom. You told me don't forget your last drunk, and this is my last drunk. And I say the circumstances because I've learned that a bottom is something that really happens on the inside. Because I've had many consequences and signs along the way, and I never paid attention. But here I am, pregnant as I tell you. I'm hanging out with the father of that child. We left one another. I forgot something today. I don't remember what I forgot. And I went back to where he was, and I walked in on him sleeping with a guy. And it wasn't kind of sort of. Okay? And I remember looking at him, and I was like, I got a problem. I need help. Wait a minute. You could pistol with me, but not that. That's a bit much. They ain't laughing. I don't know about you, but that tripped me out. Beat me, but sleep with somebody, a man, espérate. Wait a minute. Some things I need help. And I truly believe that God got a sense of humor. I believe that God was up there going, if this don't get her, I don't know what I'm gonna do for this poor baby. He got my attention. And I said, I guess you want to be with him. You don't want to be with me anymore. And I left him and I did the walk. The aimless walk. The walk with no purpose, no agenda, no nothing. I can't remember that walk, man. Where there was no ideas, no thoughts, no nothing. I was just walking. The snow was up to my knees. It was really cold. I lived in Queens. And I ended up in a church on Parsons Boulevard. I just walked into this church. You know what? I remember it like yesterday. I don't ever want to forget it. I sat down in the church. I don't know if there was mass. I can't, to this day, for some reason, I can't remember if there was even people there. I just remember I sat down and I felt a presence. It's more like what I continue to feel in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I said a prayer. A prayer that's different than any other prayer. It's a prayer that came from the depths of my soul. I prayed out to a God that I had renounced a long time ago. And I said, God, please allow me to feel the peace that I feel in this church inside of me. I didn't want it for an hour. I didn't want it for a month. I just wanted one moment for my head to shut up, my insides to stop turning, and for my skin to stop crawling. That's all, just 1 minute. The darkness, the desolation, isolation, the shame, the guilt. I couldn't live with that anymore. Jeez, Louise, just shut up. I left there and went to my father's house. The next thing that came out of my mouth was amazing. I said, Daddy, help me. And if anybody knew me, I don't ask for help. I ain't no punk. Never have. I get my own and do for my own because I know the rules. The rules are if you ask me for help, you owed me for the rest of your life. I know the rules. But where did that come from? That I come out of my mouth and I go, Daddy, help me. And my father said to me with all the love that a father has for his daughter, he had to watch me slowly kill myself, and there was absolutely nothing he could do about it. We talk about powerlessness. Not only in my life, my father had to watch me die. All the love that he had for me, there was absolutely nothing he can do to stop me from going down the path that I was going. He said, but you're standing in the middle of a crossroad, and there's 3 directions you're headed. You're so close to them, you could taste them, you could smell them. And that's jails, mental institutions, and death. There's another road, this thing called recovery. It seems dark and mysterious. You don't know anything about it, and neither do I. But if you give it a try, and if it doesn't work out, the other three will be waiting for you. That fact that my father shared with me then remains true to me to this day. I got on a Greyhound bus and I headed out to California, where I truly thought everybody was sober. I thought California was the sober state. I still have that relationship with California. And actually, it's a tradition that you have. I am so grateful for the 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. And one in particular is attraction rather than promotion. My mother currently has 22 years, and my cousin has 21. And I used to come to visit in California. And when I would come to visit, they would bring me to meetings. And I would drink before, during, and after. I went to musician picnics, all the little outings, your domino parties. When they would go out for coffee, I would go out and order a drink. They would order coffee. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe y'all ruined my drinking. Because that's what I hear around here. Once the seed's been planted, you can't drink the same again. And I remembered the people in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. I remember the smiles, the belly laughter that we do here, that genuine laughter like I was doing in the pool. I love that. I was laughing like a baby. The camaraderie, the warmth, the gleam in your eyes. I remember that. And like it came to me. And more importantly, I remember that you never shunned me, shook your head at me, sucked your teeth at me, or tried to shove a pamphlet down my throat. Thank you. Because my ego and my arrogance was so huge that I truly believe that had you had done that, I would have been willing to die before I proved you right. Mommy never said a word. My cousin never said a word. They would just be them. And I didn't even know that I was paying attention or that a seed was being planted. I didn't even know. Until I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired is when I remembered. And I got on a Greyhound bus and I detoxed on that bus. I don't want to do that again. That hurt. I threw up. I shook. I sweated. I hallucinated. That was painful. Painful. There was a man when I got to El Paso, Texas. I remember I looked at somebody and I said, where is there a bar? Because I could barely breathe. You know, I could have died on that bus. I had never been without a drink in this body since fetus. You cannot tell me there isn't a God and that this program don't work. This man literally carried me to the bar around the bus depot in El Paso, Texas. He got the drink for me and he held it in my hand because I was shaking so bad. Oh, I don't want to forget that. I don't want to forget that. That hurt. I am not confused about my relationship with alcohol. Ain't nothing cute about it. Nothing. I didn't do it for recreation. And he held that drink and I just stopped shaking. I got back on the bus. I was everybody's friend, of course. And I was like, woof, I don't know what was going on with me. Oh, jeez Louise. Woo! I was like, my goodness, that was crazy. How you doing? What's your name? Hey. Woo, had a moment. Jeez. What was that all about? Man. And I arrived on downtown Los Angeles on March 29th, 1990, wearing a size 1 pair of pants, 2 pants underneath, a huge sweatshirt. It was pink. I don't know where I got that from, with some flowers. 4 months pregnant with a dead baby in my belly. It didn't have a heartbeat at the time, by the time I got here. And my mother picked me up. That was 18 years ago, if you guys are new. I came in when I was 25, 24, going on 25. People get thrown away. I'm 43. I look good. I'm 43 years old. People be like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm 43. I'm like, I'm excited. Look at me. And my mother picked me up and took me directly to the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. She dropped me off in Crenshaw, Lano, out in South Central Los Angeles. And she literally left me there. We came in the room, and she turned around to leave. I said, Mommy, where you going? And she said, this is as far as I can go with you. She turned me over to the very people who had saved her life. She knew I couldn't listen to her. I could manipulate her. I could play off her guilt. I can't listen to her. How many people loved her and carried her? So you nursed me. Oh, that must have been difficult for her. And I remember I came in the rooms, people say, hey, baby, how you doing? We've been praying for you. I thought you were praying for me because I was special, because you knew my mother. But it turns out you pray for all of us. They said, welcome home. Oh, I was terrified when I got here. I remember the faces and what was going on, but I didn't really know what was going to happen to me when I got here. But I knew I was scared. I was scared and I was tired. And there was a part of me that felt that this was the last house on the block. And that if you people could not help me, then I need to get a gun and blow my brains out, because I cannot live the way I have been living. I couldn't go another day like that. I was clear about that. I couldn't. I was dying. If I drink to breathe and I'm drinking and I can't breathe, what am I supposed to do? I had no coping skills. I don't know how to wake up like that. Oh, it was bad. I came in here so scared. What are people gonna do? What's gonna happen? I don't know. Nor that I care at this point. I came in here and I love to share my experience when I got here, because it's the foundation that I stand on today. And I don't know if they talk to everybody like this, but they talk to me. They got my attention. I sat in the back of the room and I didn't want to stand up and say I was a newcomer. I was going to blend in with the rest of you when they asked for newcomers. I'm going to act like I've been here for a while. Everybody else. I'm going to be singled out. There was a woman, Marcy, and she was at the podium, and she got done. She walked to the back of the room, another Puerto Rican woman, just like me, just as short and tiny and sassy. She stood in front of me, she put her hands on her hip, and she said, girl, you will stand up and state your name and your disease. I remember I stood up and I said, my name's Theresa, I'm an alcoholic. I didn't know what I was saying, but look, my mother dropped me off. And you people said it, so I said it. She took me from the back of the room and she sat me in the front. People get touchy about this today. Oh God, I'm so glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't do anything but this. She took me from the back of the room and she sat me right in the front. She said, you will sit down, shut up, and listen. You're gonna take the cotton out of your ears, you put it in your mouth, because your best thinking got you here. Thank you, Marcy. It had nothing to do about one alcoholic not talking to another. Is that Marcy knew that in order for me to sit here long enough, I needed to identify with you. If you're new, the way in which I articulate my relationship with alcohol is a direct result of the work and people like you. I had to sit down and be quiet long enough to listen to you. Because if you give me a minute, I'm not hearing nothing. If Dr. Bob didn't be shut up when Bill was talking, he wouldn't have heard the message. If the whole time Bill was trying to share with him his, experience, and you'd be like, no, da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da, then we wouldn't have A. They told me sit down and be quiet long enough and listen like the dying only could, because you told my story. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just doing it. And I sat there and you disrobed me. You told my secrets. You had been where I had been. You had seen the things I had seen. You had done the things I had done. You took away my excuses and you took away my yeah buts. I could no longer rationalize and justify my behavior. Trip me out. Y'all blew me away. They told me I needed to concede to my innermost self that I was truly alcoholic. They told me I needed to get retarded, and I use the word retarded because that's what I had to do. My IQ is so outstanding, okay, that when I was 13, 14, coming out of juvie, the judge told my mother that I could do her job right then and there. You told me that was gonna kill me. My resume is outstanding. They told me that was gonna kill me. They told me to leave my resume and my IQ out the door. I kept hearing over and over again, it's a simple program for complicated people. Simple program for something happens when you live in those chairs. I lived in the rooms. It was an Alano club. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. I just had you people. And you nursed me. And you loved me. I didn't know what was going on. You know, the funny thing is I know abuse like the back of my hand. I know abuse. I come from it. I'm breeded with it. But for some reason, I knew that somebody was loving me for the first time in my life. Sit down and be quiet. Was I hungry for discipline and direction? I don't know and I don't care. But I knew these people were loving me. Sit down and be quiet, they used to tell me. They used to say, well, there's nothing you have that we want. They told me. They gave me the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. They told me it was a textbook, it was meant to be studied, it was not a novel. There's a couple of requirements before I do step 1. And they gave me the big book and they opened it up to a very blank page. It was blank. In the very beginning of the book, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's blank. It's blank, blank, blank. And they said, read that. Read that. I said, it's blank. There's nothing there. They said, exactly. You don't know nothing. 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 Today, people are sensitive about that. Help me. That helped me. Okay, I don't know nothing. I have old ideas. My ideas is what? I know how to drink. I know how to drink and tear my life into pieces. I know how to do that well. I am a liar. I am a cheater. I am a hustler. I'm a hoe. I know how to use my body, take advantage of people. I know how to hold you hostage, live in a state of victim consciousness. I love being in a state of victim consciousness and blame you for all my problems and only take credit for the good things. I don't know any better. I rob, I steal, I manipulate, I cheat. Drinking? That's a solution. That's only but a symptom. Are you kidding me? I don't know how to live. I don't know how to be. I love the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. There was a gentleman who took me through it with the dictionary, humbled me. They said, let's ask Webster. Let's see what Webster says, because I'm so smart. Let's just ask Webster. I had to look up every word other than and, is, they, them, and are. Kept me real dumb. I was like, I know that word. Yeah, let's ask Webster anyway. And I was in awe. You know, I tell people I have no idea what it was. I don't think there was a secret. Was I hungry? Was I desperate? There's so many different levels about them. I had willingness. You told me. I remember hearing them. They said honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. That's what Ebby told Bill. Ebby told Bill, just have an open mind. What a concept. I would have never thought of that. Mike was talking about the principles. I'm grateful that they shared the principles to me. They were things that amazed me. I didn't know anything about those things. Integrity. What is that? Serenity? I heard words around here like serenity and peace, freedom. Blew me away. What is that? I don't even know what that looks like. Unconditional love. The tradition, principles before personalities. What is that? I was intrigued. Who are you people? How do you do that? The big book said this is precisely how thousands of men and women have recovered. ED, restored, regained. Health. I want that. You said that you want what we have. Yes, I want what you got. What is it that you have? You have sobriety. I don't know how to live like that. You're living. You're not killing yourself or somebody else. I want to know how you do that. I tell you, could imagine sponsoring me my first year. It was funny. I was like, how you do this? What we doing? I remember in Vision for You, they said, obviously you cannot transmit something you ain't got. I said, I want what is it so I can get it so I can transmit it. What is it? They say you can't transmit it unless you get it. Well, what is it? So I can transmit it. I asked a lot of questions. They didn't put a muzzle on me. I could talk. I asked, how do you do that? What does that mean? Keep coming back. What are you talking about? This too shall pass. What? That's why the old timers are, don't worry, baby, it'll pass. They told me sweep the floor and put up the chairs. It'll pass. Go sweep the floor, put up the chairs. Mop the floor, wash the coffee cups. Nobody ever asked me what I wanted in Alcoholics Anonymous. They did not baby me here at all. They were not worried about my feelings, let me tell you. They would tell me, if you're not done, there's the door. Go back and do some controlled drinking. And some people freak out on that, but you know what? Some of us, I used to hear, some of us have to die for some of us to live. That's what I heard. They told me, do some more controlled drinking because alcohol is our greatest advocate. I don't have to convince you. And I remember I used to be going, I'm not leaving. I'm not going nowhere. That's how I used to tell them, I'm not leaving nowhere. And you people are gonna help me. Because you say you help alcoholics. I'm an alcoholic and I need you to help me. I'm dying. They gave me a sponsor. I didn't pick them, change them, fire them, and all that nonsense. I don't know anything about that. If I was dumb, how would I know what my sponsor's supposed to be doing? I love that today, that my sponsor's not doing the right thing. I don't understand that. How do you know? How do you people know? How do you know what they're supposed to be doing? Especially if you got like 3 days. How do you know? How do you know that the sponsor's doing it wrong? I'm still trying to figure that one out. They gave me a sponsor, said, this woman is your sponsor. Of course, I had to be sassy for a moment. I was like, I think you're supposed to find somebody you can identify with. They're like, you now identify with her. That's it. They used to get me all the time. I'd be like, oh, well. And I remember she had a mohawk. She had a glove like Michael Jackson, like a silver glove, and she had an earring like Janet Jackson with a key and all that stuff. She was crazy. She called herself Diamond. Who cares? Who cares? That woman had a working knowledge of the steps and the book. She had been sober 5 years. I don't care what glove she got on her hand. When I was out there drinking, I didn't care what glove you had on your hand. Whatever. I don't remember going to the bartender and he says, there's a new drink, you want it? And I go, I'm not sure, is it really doing anything? And let me see this person first. I didn't do none of that. I said, give it to me, we'll find out. They told me apply to this program the way I drank. And I didn't play with my drinking, so I didn't play with the program. And what I did was I just started following people. I got hope. I love step 2 because step 2 says that I could be restored to sanity. I am not restored, but I could because I saw it in you. You guys had been restored to sanity, and I wanted that. How was I supposed to get it? Through the steps. And I remember my sponsor telling me that they're not exercises. We're not gonna be doing homework. That's what she said to me, don't think there's homework. This is a blueprint designed for living. I need to learn how to breathe them, taste them, and smell them. I need to experience them. What is that? The answer to one step was in the next step. And if I just had an open mind, and if I had a mustard seed of willingness and honesty. How was I honest? I saw you being honest. I don't know what it looks like to be honest. When I got sober, people would get up and go, I got on clean underwear today. That's honest. I got clean underwear. That was a big deal for when I got sober. Women were like, I got clean underwear. Today's a good day. I know from where I come from. I know what it is to be nasty, crusty, dirty underwear and walk around still acting like I'm cute. I get that. I like, ooh, she got clean underwear. I want clean underwear. What did you do to get clean underwear? Yeah, crazy. I mean, serious. How'd you do that? I want clean underwear. She gave me a working knowledge of the steps. And to understand what they were giving me in every single step throughout the book, each step, there's a promise. And then if I did this despite myself, I tell people I have done the uncomfortable until it became comfortable. If you wait to get comfortable, if you knew, I'm sorry, you're in trouble. That's why they told me, strap on and hold on. I have done the uncomfortable. In the 12 and 12, it says all 12 steps are contrary to my natural desires. It hurts. I ain't gonna like them. And I tell people, something happened to me. Something happened to me. I put one hand in Alcoholics Anonymous and one hand in the higher power, which they told me I can conceptualize whatever I want it to be. Thank you. Whatever that was. And for me, the first time he was fat, he told dirty jokes, he farted and stuck his finger up his nose. Whatever. I remember they told me, all you need to know that there is one, you ain't it. Real simple. It ain't that deep. There is one, you're not it. I see that all the time. There is one, you ain't it. You ain't it. And if you're confused, my sponsor told me, it's night, make a day. Let's go. Chop, chop. Let's go. And the scary part is I tried. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna show her. I couldn't do it. All right, fine. It's the one that makes it day and night. Whatever, just get one. So they told me, just get one, stop it. They used to say, keep it simple, stupid. That's how they used to talk to us. Ooh. I used to be like, damn, your people are so insensitive. Don't you know I come from wounds? I've been wounded. No, but they got my attention. They got past my disease and they got into my heart. And when it gets in my heart, ain't nothing I can do about it. Because if you break down too much for me, I get all up in here, boy, and I could dissect that, tear it up in 50 million pieces. Are you kidding me? And show you how wrong you are. But they got past here, and they got in here. And when that happened, whew, I couldn't hide. And I put one hand in this higher power and one hand in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I said, let's do this. That's how I've been. People say, you're kind of passionate. Yeah, call me Latina New York. I don't care what you want to call it. Okay, I came in here dying. And I've been excited. How do we do? What do we have to do? I follow my sponsor. Where you going? What you doing? What meeting you at? I'm there. Where you going? Okay, while you at work, what am I doing? Where am I going? That's how I was with my sponsor. I call her all the time. Okay, I'm hungry. Eat. Okay, I ate. Now what? Take a bath. Okay, I took a bath. Now what? Did that all the time. You need to go to work. Oh, man. How am I going to do that? One moment at a time. Let's look at your resume. Let's sit down. Everything was baby steps for me. To the point of, that's a chair. You sit in it. I didn't know. I would show up at meetings naked. Fishnet stockings, bustiers, you know, those tight spin neck skirts and everything. Puta shoes, we call them. That's the high heel spike shoes with the rhinestones. Prancing around the meeting. Love those co-ed meetings. Always getting coffee. Oh my goodness. Whole time I'd be like, look like somebody got some issues. Where your clothes at, girl? What you coming in here looking for? They say, you don't have to do that today, baby. I didn't know. I didn't know. They say, now sit down, no more coffee. And they take me home and teach me how to dress like a lady. I remember Iona, she just passed away not too long ago. Every time I talk about her. So many of the old timers from our home group have gone. It was my responsibility to carry the message the way they carried it to me. I am responsible for those people who have come before me. And I remember Iona looking at me, and when I got there, she said, now, baby, I done slept with everybody in AA. You don't have to. And if anybody talks to me, I'd be like, you slept with Iona already, leave me alone. She said, I had to sleep with you. So childlike. I came in here emotionally an infant. I heard you stopped growing at the age you started drinking, and I started drinking in my mother's womb, and so I was emotionally an infant, and I surrendered to whatever was. And so childlike. I became very childlike, and I remember my sponsor saying, you're entitled to be around loving and supportive people. And I didn't know what that looks like, so I looked to you. And you became my teachers. And I learned in the rooms what to be like and what not to be like. And I was grateful for each. I love the diversity that we had in the room and the differences of one another, and that all were welcome. I would see people pull up in a Rolls Royce and a guy come in pushing a cart. And he was just as much respected and welcome as the one in the Rolls Royce. That's important for a drunk like me to see. I said, look at that. Who are these people? I want that. I want to learn what that was. I remember my sponsor had lived like in an abandoned building or something, and I love to share this because it struck me. This woman who was helping me, I went to some building. It was kind of abandoned, and she had a daughter, and some people came and bought her food. Do you know that I did not look at her and go, oh, goodness, what can she do to help me? I watched her. She sat there with such an elegance of grace and dignity and gratitude. To be sober, to be carrying the message. And I looked at her and I said, I want that. I want this woman has this grace about her, this sense of, you know what I mean? She's not ashamed that she's living here. She was excited. She was full of joy. She had more joy than anything I could muster up inside of me. I used to hear words around here like freedom and joy and happiness and peace and serenity. I wanted that. How do you get them? Through the steps. I had to seek out God. I had to find God is what they told me. It's not that deep. Do the steps and you'll find God in the steps. I got a clean house, trusting God. Clean house, trusting God. Clean house, trusting God. You know how much house cleaning I've had to do? Ugh. I had a lot of stuff. I got old demons in the closet, man. And I was willing to do whatever it took. And as a result, I began to change. Talk about a psychic change in the doctor's opinion. I began to change. All of a sudden, I'm standing tall. I wake up in the morning and I appreciate the sun coming through the window. And I go, ooh, that feels good. And I start crying. You know? And I go, my goodness, that feels good. I start learning how to be a daughter to my mother. Of course I hated my mother. I hated women when I got here. I had to dance with the women and hang out with the women. I always tell the women, you are my shadow, you are my mirror. I hated women. I didn't want to hang out with you. I hated my mother. Man, that we danced the dance. I had to hang out with the women to tell me about myself. I remember I used to walk around going, you know, I never prostituted before. That's a yet for me. I'm so grateful that you're able to share that experience with me. I didn't have to do anything like that. Kind of supported myself. Women be like, oh, really? Let's see. You ever went to a bar, smiled at a guy, he bought you a drink? I'd be like, sure. They're like, you a hoe. What's worse, you don't even know it. I'd be like, now that you put it that way. Took me so many years to forgive my mother. It was through so many of the mothers in the room that I learned. And I was willing because you just told me I needed to be willing. And I kept doing the work, and I kept doing the work. I learned that my feelings were not fact. Because there are times when I don't feel like paying the rent, and there are times I don't feel like going to work, but I need to go to work. The fact of the matter is I have to pay the rent, and I need to go to work. And that's what you taught me here in Alcoholics Anonymous. And I suit up, and I show up, and I'm present. And I make a phone call, and I ask for direction, and I do an amazing thing. I shut up and listen for you to tell me what it is. And then I hang up the phone, and I go do it. And I have an experience. And I sit back and I listen to somebody. They told me, you ain't got to dance with everybody, but you need to dance with somebody. Somebody. And all of a sudden I begin to transform and change. And I feel better in my own skin. And my heart becomes full. And not only am I a daughter to my mother, I'm a daughter to my father. I become a sister to my brother. I become an aunt to my brother's 2 boys, Everett and Manic, who just love their titi so much. I become a productive member of society. I'm so excited to call myself a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I learned the legacy of this program, unity, recovery, and service, and I ask myself each day, are you a member? The only requirement is a desire to want to stop drinking. Theresa, are you a member of Alcoholics Anonymous? My sponsor told me, don't you put anything in front of your recovery. You are not that cute. I never put anything in front of my drinking. Next you know, I get to be a sponsor. After being a sponsee. excited to be of service and carry the message of hope that was carried to me, to be of service, and they keep me sober more so than they think I do for them. To introduce them to a power greater than themselves that I have found in me. And my goodness, it's a wonderful thing to see the light come in their eye. But I've seen many people leave my couch and go drink. But I stay sober. And I live this thing one day at a time, and I keep it simple. And I'm amazed each and every day that I wake up in the morning and I go, what can I contribute to life? Now, if that's not funny to you, then you missed it. Because that's funny to me. I laugh at myself. I wake up in the morning, I go, what can I contribute to life? And I go, you funny. And you mean it. A drunk like me wakes up in the morning and goes, what can I contribute to life? I tell people I'm not blocked from the sunlight of the Spirit, and I don't say it out of arrogance. I work hard for that. God has removed so many character defects, and sometimes I don't even want them. That's what's so strange. The thought of drink leaves me. It's not haunting me. You know what? If you be new, my head ain't out to get me. When I got here, they said that stinking thinking committee. And I would talk to my head when I was new, and I'd be walking down the street like a schizophrenic and go, oh, just shut up. Oh, you shut up. You're trying to kill me. Just shut up and leave me alone. You're the disease. You're the disease. Just leave me alone and just shut up. I'm calling my sponsor. I'm going to a meeting. Be quiet. That's how I talk to myself. You'll think I'm playing. But today my head is not out to get me. Today my thoughts are aligned with God's will for me in the state of God consciousness. We talk about 10 and 11. God gave me a brain to use it. I get to use it. Today I get to use my will in a good way. I recognize that I am a servant of God. I came here to find out that God don't make no junk. I'm a child of God. I tell people, look at me, I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. And for somebody like me, from where I come from, you can't tell me there isn't a God and this program don't work. I don't want to give that up for. So each and every day I wake up and I'm excited to be sober another day. And what can I do? What can I do of me of maximum service to you? What can I do better today? How can I be of service and give it away and carry the message in and out of these rooms? My life becomes simple. You cease fighting everything and everybody. It's not a big deal. Everything becomes simple and the head becomes quiet. Life just is. I know God is within me and I'm a conduit and I get to be that vessel. And wherever I go and I walk down the street and I get to be an attraction of this program, to just be, for people to see the beauty that comes from in me. There's so many people I've come to know that go, what you got going on? Like you did for me. Oh, what an honor that is. That's who I am today. I'm an alcoholic. My name is Theresa. I'm an alcoholic. I'm proud to say you gave me a purpose. I came here with no purpose. My purpose, stay sober, carry the message. People talk about having a life outside of AA. I don't know nothing about that. I have a life because of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I take these principles into all of my affairs, all of them, and they apply. You gave me a new set of principles. They told me these tools that they laid at my feet. I didn't have any tools. I created some along the way, 25 years of my life. And now you gave me some new tools, and I get to pick them up and apply them. And I use them, and I've got this wonderful, I was sharing with some of my sponsees, I got a wonderful mechanic. He's called God. And I turn over Theresa, because I lost my, I got my pink slip, and I'm no longer the CEO of Theresa Incorporated. I say a wonderful mechanic, as I told him. And this mechanic has given me 100% warranty on my heart, 100% warranty on all of these little things that I have going on inside of me, and he gets rid of those character defects and he works on them and he works on them and gets rid of them, even though I think they're good, pretty little fuses that are burnt out, but I think I like them. And he gets rid of them and he tells me just keep bringing back the car for checkup. You gotta do the oil change and stuff like that. So I have a good car to run with. Had this wonderful mechanic, 100% lifetime warranty. It never runs out. Either he'll give me a new part or he'll fix the one I have. Isn't that amazing? So yes, I've had a lovely time in St. Thomas because God has afforded me the honor and the privilege to see a place like this. I wouldn't normally have come. Or maybe I would have, and I would have drank the whole time. And still said I had a good time. Today I have the honor and the privilege to travel all over the United States, and I'm on my way to a couple other countries. And no time would I have ever thought that my experience can benefit others. Ever. I never wanted to come up here to this podium and share with you people. And I'm being traveled everywhere, and I haven't worked in like 2 years. I take care of my mother who has Alzheimer's, and she's had 4 strokes. I take care of my father from time to time. I go to Arizona. He moved to Arizona to be closer. He used to be in New York, who has Parkinson's. Oh, I love my daddy. And I get to think about what he's going through and how I could be a daughter to him. My brother for 8 years lived on my block, and I was able to be his sister, and he was so sick and went through a horrible divorce and helped him with his 2 boys. He just moved to Minnesota to go to seminary school to be a pastor. Oh, that was an awesome privilege to take care of him and the boys. And then my uncle, who was my greatest abuser, got sober. He had 12 years. And he came out to California, and then he had 3 to 6 months to live, and he asked me to take care of him. Oh, then we danced the dance. And he put one hand in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I haven't been able to. And I was with my uncle until he took his last breath. I've been living one day. I get to go. Oh, I don't know if I could do that. Sometimes with a pocket. And I just do what's in front of me, and I'm a mess. And I got clothes on my stomach. Amazing, a trunk like me. People, this is how my day goes. The only thing I ask today, God, I go keep putting. Please do it once. Because I was. I was like, we gotta be clearer. I love this program because we can make mistakes, anyway. I love it. We just get to be. To become a human being rather than a human doing. I love it. We get to be, we make mistakes, we're like, oh. I tripped again, almost punched my boss. Oh, man, This is the only place in meetings that people raise their hand and go, I want to kill my wife. Thanks for sharing. Okay, next. Anybody else? I love it. I love that. I think it's so cool. Oh my God, I love it. No, but that's the only thing I have asked for a house is because I always say my house looks like like an AA meeting with no trusted servants. I always got drunks in there with coffee cups and garbage cans, a little 2-bedroom apartments. I'm like, okay, God, whatever. And then we helped my neighbor upstairs to get sober. That's a long story. But when we finally started going to AA, I said, is that it? I was here just to help him. Can we move now? But no, we're still there. I'm like, all right. And then, God, don't you think it's time for us to move? We want a big house. And I wanted to show up like Publishers Clearinghouse, really. That's how my car came. But that's about the only thing if I say what I don't have. But everything I have in my life is perfect. It's perfect just the way it is. And I'm going to end with how I spend my day. Because this is the way it's been so far. One day it'll change. If you be new, they used to say when things are really bad, this too shall pass. And when things are really good, they say, this too shall pass. I want to buy a blouse. I feel like a blouse. I like to have a blouse today. I'm going to go to the store and buy a blouse. And I get ready to go buy the blouse, but the phone rings. And I pick up the phone and I start talking to the person on the phone. Now, I'm not tapping my foot talking about hurry up because I was about to buy a blouse. I am present for that conversation. And then I get ready to go and somebody's at my door. And I let them in. And we sit down and we talk. And we get done. They say, hey, where were you going before I got here? I said, oh, I was going to go buy a blouse. Like, I'll go with you. I go, cool, we get ready to leave. We're pulling out and 4 people are walking up to my house. She goes, I think they're going to your house. I said, oh, I'll park the car. They park the car and I go in and these 4 people in my house and I'm of service and I'm present for that conversation. I'm not tapping my foot saying, hurry up, I have somewhere to go. I got things to do, I have a life to live. At the end of the day, somebody shows up and they go, I was at the store, I saw this blouse, and I thought of you. That's how I live my life today. The miracle in that story is not that the blouse showed up. God's been doing that for me for a long time. The miracle in that story is that I was sober and I was present for that conversation. That I was willing to be there. I was excited. I had a sense of peace and serenity as I sat and I spoke with them. And the blouse wasn't more important than sitting down chatting with you. That is the miracle in that story. So thank you so much for my life and being here and your patience and dancing with me. You've been great, Robert, but I haven't had a phone. I was tripping for a minute. I get no T-Mobile service. And I love how people will say, oh, maybe God don't want you talking about it. I'm like, why do we blame God for everything? No, I got T-Mobile and you don't have it on the island. Jeez, please, we're just blaming for everything. He's up there going, what I got to do with service? Phone service, anyway. Thought I'd throw that in there. No. If you be new, hold on and strap on. I hope you're tired, and if you're not, I hope you don't die trying, because our greatest obsession is to drink like normal people. And we will pursue it into gates of insanity or death. Ask me how I know. So welcome, we've been praying for you. And thank you for coming out. Thank you for allowing me to share.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down. And then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.